When you learn a new language, the first thing you do is learn new words. English has hundreds of thousands of words. The more words you know, the better you can communicate. But how can you learn so many words? Is there an easy way? Well, let's talk about that and look at 7 tips that can make it easier for you to improve your vocabulary. Hi, I'm Mark Franco, and this is Snap Language Learner. When you start learning English, you need about 2,000 to 3,000 words to express basic ideas fairly well. Nouns, adjectives, verbs. But English also has a lot of phrasal verbs, idioms, and expressions. It's an endless task. You need to work hard to keep improving your vocabulary, but you can make it easier on yourself if you do the right things. But remember this, no matter how many words you already know, you will still keep running into words you don't know yet. This happens to everybody. Don't worry so much about how many words you don't know, just keep learning new ones. Here are 7 tips to help you improve your vocabulary faster and without getting all stressed out and frustrated. Tip number 1. Simply pay attention to new words and be curious about vocabulary. This seems like an easy tip, right? But it's true. If you're not motivated to learn something, you won't. For example, when you keep reading or hearing a word over and over, do you underline it or write it down so you can look it up later? When people use a word you don't know, do you ignore the word or do you ask them what the word means? If you do, you're paying attention. You're curious about words, so it's more likely you'll learn them. So pay attention to words, be curious about them. Tip number 2, do not get obsessed over vocabulary. It's good to be curious about words, but if that's all you focus on all the time, you're just obsessed. Remember, the vocabulary is only part of learning a new language. You also need to work on fluency, listening, reading, writing, and so on. Knowing a lot of words is useless if you don't have the other skills you need to use those words to express your ideas. So have the right motivation. Try to learn new words, but don't get obsessed over it. Work hard, but take it easy. Enjoy learning. Tip number 3, learn words and expressions in context. Some people want to memorize long vocabulary lists. That's okay if you have the time and energy to do it, but did you know that you can remember words much better when you see them actually being used? Words make more sense in context, so it's easier to remember them later. In context, you make a connection between the word and what it means. You may be asking, where do I find words in context? Well, you can study your language textbook, or any textbook you choose to look at. The problem is that language textbooks don't always show the language the way it's used in everyday life. So look at other materials too. Besides your textbook, use materials that you choose. You can read websites, the news, short stories, social media posts, and so on. Many libraries have books that are written specifically for English language learners, so you can always find materials at or just above your reading level. You can watch YouTube videos too. Hey, you're doing that right now. Good for you. You can watch the news, movies, documentaries. Besides just reading and watching things, you can also get more active with the language and find opportunities to use English whenever you can. When you do, pay attention to the words people use around you. Well, pay attention to what they're saying too. Remember, pay attention, be curious, but don't be obsessed over it. Also remember that part of learning words in context is about learning vocabulary as part of expressions. What I mean is that you can learn some words by themselves. Simple words like dog, storm, hug. But a lot of words in the language don't happen in isolation. They're used as part of an expression. Okay, so let's say you learn the verb to agree. You need to learn the whole expression. You agree with someone on something. This way, you know you need to say, I agree with you on this issue. Let's say you learn the phrasal verb look forward. Then learn to look forward to something, as in, I look forward to the party. In fact, a good dictionary will generally provide expressions in word forms. For example, when you look up ride in the dictionary, it'll likely have the forms of the verb: ride, riding, rode, ridden. We'll talk more about dictionaries in a minute. Just remember to learn words in context and as part of a whole expression whenever possible. Tip number 4, focus on useful words. Don't waste time trying to learn really uncommon words that no one uses. When you look at a word, do you think you really need to know that word? If not, leave it for later. After your vocabulary is really good, you can spend more time learning those uncommon words. Tip number 5, use a good dictionary, but learn how to use it well. A good dictionary has clear definitions and gives you example sentences showing you how to use the word. Remember, when you see words in context, you remember them better. A good dictionary shows you how to pronounce the word too. You can even listen to the word in most online dictionaries. Many dictionaries use the International Phonetic Alphabet, or the IPA, to show you how the word is pronounced. If you don't know how to read those symbols, don't worry. Make sure your dictionary uses the IPA, and as you use the dictionary often, you'll end up learning how to read those symbols. I'm planning on creating videos teaching how to read those IPA phonetic symbols. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know in the comments. Tip number 6, keep track of new words. Many language learners keep a notebook or vocabulary cards. This is a good way to keep all your new words in the same place. Keeping a notebook also forces you to write down the words so you practice spelling them. Make sure you write example sentences in your notebook or on your cards too, so you know how to use the words. But you need to review your new words often. Keep adding new words and cross out the ones you feel you've already learned well. Tip number 7, create your own technique. I can tell you about all these techniques to help you improve your vocabulary, but some techniques may work for you and some not so much. If a technique does not work for you after a while, stop doing it. If you hear about a new technique from someone, give it a try. It might work for you too. In other words, try different things and come up with your own way of learning vocabulary. Just pay attention to words and be curious about them, but don't get obsessed over vocabulary. Try learning words in context so you know how to use them. Use a good dictionary, keep track of your words in a notebook or on cards. With time, figure out the way that works best for you. Enjoy learning new things and make it fun. Don't forget to like and share this video so other people can learn about this too. If you found this video on our website, make sure to go back there to finish your lesson. If you found it on YouTube, check the video description for links to related materials. Enjoy learning, always. Thanks for watching.